Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video featuring Charizard here in the Master rank. Now, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna break this down right quick. We're doing a brand new Masters rank guide for Charizard. For those of you that have been interested and have been asking questions about it, what do I like to run on him? What's my, my build preferences, what have you when it comes to this Pokemon? Now, I like to think this is my general build setup for Charizard. This is what I generally do run on my Charizard. I know it's crazy. I do generally run Buddy Barrier, Focus Band, Rocky Helmet. Sometimes I sub out Rocky Helmet with Assault Vest. And if I'm feeling a little bit spicy, I go a little bit tank or DPS and I take Muscle Band. I don't generally run Scope Lens. I don't find it very useful on Charizard. Especially for me, like my crits on Charizard for those auto attacks are like 192 when I do crit. That's not a lot of damage, boys. It's really not. You don't necessarily need it. It's kind of like a wasted item on Charizard. It works, you do damage, but you can substitute that out with something else and be just as fine or just as effective. Now, like I said, I put out another video recently for Charizard as a tanky bruiser, running Assault Vest, Focus Band, and Buddy Barrier, which works phenomenal. So if you like that variant, go ahead. Don't mind me, But at the end of the day, like this is what I generally go with, bread and butter. If I want to swap this out for another tanky item, I'd take one of the other two, Assault Vest and or Rocky Helmet. Now, Charizard has a unique playstyle to him. His auto attacks kind of like, you can't really kite with him. If you try to walk too far away by smashing the A button, you kind of walk back to your target, so you have to be mindful of how his auto attack actually works. It kind of pulls you in like a magnet. I know that sounds kind of wild. It is, and sometimes it gets you killed. It is what it is. Now, so what happens is he has a continuous auto attack, right? It does damage, it burns the target, or it does increase damage to targets that are burning, excuse me. Now, you get increased range when you evolve Charmeleon to Charizard to what have you. So the way this works is when he has low HP, he gets increased crit rate, right? So this is why you don't generally need Scope Lens on him, because you naturally get crit rate anyway. Now, other than that, his first abilities here are Flamethrower and Fire Punch. I like both of these. Both of these abilities are really, really good. For Flamethrower, I love this ability, especially when you're coming out of that bush for that first gank. If you're not looking to get kills or what have you, or if you're looking to get kills, this does a lot of damage from a range. Like it really does. It's a nice little burst damage. It goes through Pokemon, wild Pokemon, enemy Pokemon. You can hit multiple targets. It's really, really strong. And it will leave them burning and increase your movement speed if you land it on an enemy Pokemon. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, this gives burning to everything that it hits, so therefore your auto attacks will deal increased damage to burned targets, right? My bread and butter, 9 out of 10, is like Fire Punch. I love Fire Punch. Whether I'm playing a tanky build or I'm playing a DPS build, I like playing with Fire Punch, because not a lot of people expect you to do Fire Punch. They generally expect Flamethrower. But I like to play Charizard as a bruiser with this build, therefore I'm always in the team fight. You know what I mean? I always want to be in that front line, per se. And sometimes he gets me killed, but that's fine because I'm trying to peel for my team, for my squishies. Bro, I'm trying to do a video. Get out of here. I'm trying to peel for my team, and that's what you want to do in that mindset. Now, what this ability does, it also burns them, right? But it also reduces this move's cooldown every time a basic attack hits. So as long as you're burning a target with auto attack, you can Fire Punch again. It's very, very consistent, alright? Now, when it comes to these two, I generally like to run Flare Blitz. Flyer Blast is also very good for zoning. So when you throw this down on a Zapdos, throw this down inside the team fight or on an objective, it's very, very good. It slows everyone around, everyone in that area, and also deals damage over time. It's very, very good, actually. But in the same sense, if you're running Charizard to be a frontline tank or be a frontline bruiser or what have you, Flare Blitz is the way to go. And the reason being, because a lot of people don't understand this or don't realize this actually does this for Charizard, this is a guaranteed hit, right? So it locks on and you automatically go straight to the Pokemon you're targeting. But at the end of the day, this gives you a shield, like a Buddy Barrier shield, but it's not as big as a Buddy Barrier, but it still gives you a nice shield for that front line. And this is how you become a lot more tanky with the item set you're running with Charizard, because this shield on top of your Assault Vest shield, if you're running that, and or Rocky Helmet, makes you incredibly hard to deal with as a frontline bruiser. At the end of the day, this also decreases the movement speed of the enemy Pokemon. So you run into a target Flare Blitz, you hit them with Fire Punch, they're still burning, you deal increased auto attack damage, and Unite move them. or Unite move whoever you want, because no one can deal with you when you're inside your Unite move. You get a shield from Fire Blitz or Flare Blitz, and you get a shield from your Buddy Barrier. That's a lot of shield while you're flying around just burning people. It's very consistent. Not a lot of people, like I said, like to run this type of setup, but it's been working for me. I don't know if you guys want to give it a shot, but it might be able to carry you guys up to Masters if you're really good with Charizard. I give it to you. Now, we don't need to really talk about his Unite move. We've all been on the end of it. We've all used it. We know how much fun it is. His Unite move is probably one of the best in the game, in my opinion, right now. I think it's very, very strong, okay? It doesn't need to be nerfed. It got changed from what it was before. You can just hit the button, and beforehand you could just hit the button and you'd fly around and burn people, then you hit it again, then you can scoop up somebody and slam them down. Now you automatically just scoop up a target and then slam them down. But be careful, because with this ability, if you go to scoop a target up, let's talk about like a Greedent, for example. This happens to me often. If you try to scoop up Greedent or any Pokemon that has like any form of bump, like a CC, it can knock you out of the animation and make your ability go on cooldown. It doesn't make it start all over again, but it makes it like go around like 90%. You should have to charge it all over again. You gotta be very, very mindful. It's like Snorlax's shield, right? So let's say you get ready to Unite move or eject button, and Snorlax pops up his shield, and you just run into the shield, and then your ability goes on cooldown. It's kind of like that. So be very, very careful and be mindful of the cooldowns the enemy team has up. All right. But in any case, let's dive into this gameplay. It's been Pawse Plays. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video featuring Charizard here in the Master Rank. Today we are looking at a brand new Charizard Masters guide for my own solo queue experiences. Now, generally speaking, when I play Charizard, I like to play him in the jungle, just because in the jungle you get your level ups a lot quicker, obviously, so you can make a bigger impact, and your gank potential is absolutely pretty dang good. Especially if you're taking out Fire Punch, which I generally like to take Fire Punch, just because it allows me to just get in there and do damage and be a front line for my team. Now for a second ability, we do take Flare Blitz. I love Flare Blitz. I do love Fire Blast as well, but I think Flare Blitz can be bread and butter depending on your playstyle with Charizard. I like taking Flare Blitz just because, like I said, I like to be that melee frontline with Charizard. I like to sit here and zone and try to get into that team fight instead of trying to stay in the back lane or back line and throw flamethrowers. You know what I mean? There are Charizard players that do that, which is fine, nothing wrong with it. But there's things about Flare Blitz that people don't know. So like when you dive into a team with Flare Blitz, right? What happens is when you do get that ability up, you get a shield. Right? You get a big old shield. Which doesn't sound significant, but in a team fight setting, when you have your Unite move going, you get Buddy Barrier from your Unite move, you hit a Flare Blitz on a target, that's a big old shield, man. And generally speaking, when you Unite move, people just run away from you, especially when you're Charizard. They don't want to fight you. But at the end of the day, it's just like they can't get away from you because you're Charizard. But you get all these benefits by having this Flare Blitz, by having Buddy Barrier. You're super tanky in that mindset. You're all over the map with Fire Punch and Flare Blitz. You can go wherever you want. You have super mobility. It may not seem like it, but Charizard has a lot of mobility. He can traverse from top lane to bot lane to jungle to what have you without question. And nobody in the game can 1v1 you when you have your Unite move up. Generally speaking, it's very hard to 1v1 Charizard at all, even if they're the same level as you. Now, you could argue that, you know, Gengar could do it. A good Gengar could, yes. Now, those are very, very far in between, as we all know. But at the end of the day, it's just like when you're playing Charizard, dude, a lot of people give you flack for playing him, right? Because he's not played that often, right? See, look at this. This shield right here keeps me up. Talonflame didn't know what to do because he missed his fly, because, you know, Fire Punch. Imagine if I had a Flamethrower in that situation, guess what? I'm dead, right? Because I got caught out, didn't have an escape, I was done. Eject button's on cooldown. But like I said, most Charizard players run Flamethrower. So I would imagine that the enemy Pokemon assume I have Flamethrower too. Sometimes I forget. I think Fire Punch is generally the way to go, just because with all the crowd control and the amount of damage you can do and get out of, it works nice. You know what I mean? Now the way Charizard's abilities do work, Fire Punch a target and or Flamethrower a target, then you auto attack. That'll do increased damage because that target is burning from Fire Punch and or Flamethrower. If you're just auto attacking a target without using any of your other abilities, you don't do very much DPS at all. They have to be burning for you to do that extra damage. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, Charizard's Unite move is one of the fastest charging Unite moves in the entire game. Alright? It's very, very quick to get up. And once his Unite move is active, everybody will run away from you. Everybody. And that's what you want. Just because in general, you're doing all of this damage as a front line, because that's what your mission is to do as Charizard now. At least for me. I like to play him, like I said, I like to play him as a front line. You want people to run away from you. You want to zone off your carries, you know what I mean? I'm sitting there waiting, so I thought Talonflame's going to come up this direction. So I was going to Unite move him, but apparently he decides to, you know, try to score a goal. It's fine, it is what it is. He gets his, boys. He gets his. Now, the best thing about this is, if you notice, before he landed, I picked him up. Therefore, I didn't take damage. You saw that, right? Yeah, that's right. 9 out of 10, I know. Now, there are some situations where you can do that. You can eject button into a Unite move, and you could also avoid damage in that sense, but you gotta be careful when you try to Unite move a target. If a target has any form of crowd control or CC or what have you, if you Unite move them, they can bump you out of your Unite move. And it doesn't cancel it, it just goes on cooldown, essentially, and you have to charge it back up. It's generally like 91 or 92%. I don't know how Ninetales knew I was there. It is what it is. And then I got stuck in the wall because I could not get out because, you know, Blastoise apparently has, you know, too much CC in the game. The most CC in the game. But in any case, like, I'm having a lot of fun playing Charizard. Even though, like I said, he gets a lot of flack and people like to think he's not good. But there's a lot of master players that play Charizard at a very, very high skill cap. And I know that's strange because this is Pokemon Unite. This necessarily doesn't require, you know, too much skill. I get you. But in the same sense, those master players that sit here and play Charizard, they know how good this Pokemon is. But then you get in the hands of the average player, they don't see him. You know, they don't see him why he's so good. Think of it like this. You can put any build choice on this Pokemon besides special attack items, you can do fine. You could also take out any Pokemon in the game with your Unite move. That Zeraora is a problem for your squad, you can take him out. The Gengar is a problem, take him out. Greninja, take him out. No one can 1v1 you with your Unite move up. That's just the way it is. It's not like you're playing Garchomp or you're playing Gardevoir, where if you get behind, you can't, you know, you're not really that useful to your team. Charizard is always useful in every state of the game, especially with his Unite move. Now, like I said, you can argue that if you want to, but at the end of the day, no one's getting away from you. You can burst down any target you want. You can remove tanks from the game if you choose to do that too. I did make a tank Charizard build. I posted that, and I will post a link as well if you're interested in that build. That is more of a frontline tank. It runs Assault Vest, you run Buddy Barrier, you run Focus Band, or Focus Sash, what have you. Your mindset, your goal is to be that frontline tank. You're sitting here with Fire Punch, Flare Blitz, just like this build right here, except for this one right now, I'm not running Assault Vest. Instead, I'm running Muscle Band here. I'm running Muscle Band, and I'm running Buddy Barrier and Focus Band here, or Focus Sash, whatever you call it. But just know, Assault Vest also works wonders. And sometimes I actually like running Rocky Helmet. I know that's crazy, because not a lot of people have that item leveled up. But I think the people who don't have it leveled up don't really experience how good it is as a tanky item. It doesn't do much on damage, but as a tanky item, it gives you nice stats. Opposed to, there's not very many items in the game that actually give you flat HP. Besides like Buddy Barrier, really. And AO's Cookie, essentially. I know I'm probably missing like one or two, but it's just, Rocky Helmet gives you so much stats for what it does. You can run a lot of different tank items on Charizard and people don't really expect it, but just keep in mind, his auto attack damage doesn't do that much without Muscle Band, so far in my opinion. You could also run Scope Lens. Scope Lens also works with Charizard. It allows his fire to crit more, but his crit damage is not very high. It's like 192 for auto attacks, give or take, with a Scope Lens for me right now. It's not that, you know, significant or anything. It helps you with the jungle clear early game, but you don't really need Scope Lens for that sense. You can just run, you know, Fire Punch or what have you, and you just burn a target anyway. It's very, very quick for his jungle time. And his ganks out of the bush at level 5 are actually really, really good, and I shouldn't really have to explain that, especially when you get Fire Punch, you go out of the bush, you hit a target. Value, right? Just value. But as you can see, like, you literally just run a target down. And you guys have been in games with Charizard, played against him, played him on your team, what have you. Some of them are pretty good. some of them are pretty bad. But there's always that one Charizard on an enemy team who just always guns for you. You know what I mean? You always feel like he's always after you. And that might be the case. Guess what? He always gets you killed, doesn't he? But in this situation right here, the only reason why I was able to stay up here is because I am full tank, essentially. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where people don't expect it. They generally expect you to run Scope Lens, Muscle Band, and probably another DPS item, give or take. It's just a little bit different. You throw people off guard. But hey, man. Hopefully, you guys have been having fun playing Charizard, still hanging in there playing Pokemon Unite. We got a bunch of new Pokemon coming up here soon. Dragonite is coming out. I'm super stoked for Dragonite. By the way, hopefully you guys got the Nintendo eShop code in this video. Because I know y'all missed it again, but it's okay. This has been Pawse Plays. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Smash that like button, join that Discord, come say hi, come tell me I suck. It don't matter, man. I will talk to you guys in the very next game. I'm gonna head out. Have a good day.